cannot make you understand. I cannot make anyone understand what is happening inside me. I cannot even explain it to me. These are the lines of Gregor Samsa from Franz Kafka's novella, Metamorphosis. Welcome to Book Talk. Well, this is quite a strange book, because how would we feel if one fine day we wake up to being a disgusting vermin? Quite an impossible story, right? Well, this novella has been something the reading community has always cherished and ought to cherish in the future too. It's a story of all times, a story that's meant for all of us, bereft of age and gender barriers. To talk about Franz Kafka, he was a 20th century writer who fused the element of realism and the fantastic in his works, which explored the tropes of alienation, existentialism, anxiety, guilt, and absurdity. It's an allegorical novella. The Metamorphosis has been one of Kafka's best-known works, which tells the story of a traveling salesman, Gregor Samsa, who wakes up one morning and finds himself transformed into a huge insect. And the work explores his subsequent struggles to cope with his new situation. Gregor was the sole breadwinner of his family, consisting of four: his father, mother, and his younger sister. He toiled day and night to make the four ends meet, forced to hear the tauntings of his bosses. However, things change as he turns into a vermin. Physically an insect, but deep inside, Gregor was the same person who felt everything, all those volumes of emotions. The changed interpersonal relationships with his family members pushed him into the dark void of isolation and alienation. It all reaches up to a point that even his sister, whom he loved dearly, despises him, and he is heartbroken. Heartbroken, one fine day, he passes out in his sleep. Not sad, but relieved. That's what his family members are. They were happy to get rid of a faint insect, and they moved on joyfully with their lives. A sad tale though, right? Well, though decades apart, I guess this was a book that made tons of sense in the past few years when the COVID pandemic struck us and we all were introduced to the world of quarantine and isolation. In a digital world, we all were separated from even our loved ones. Anxiety and depression rates sprouted up like anything. COVID pandemic took us too close to what Gregor Samsa might have felt. Pandemic made us feel like the vermin Gregor was, at least in one phase of our own existence. Confined to one's own room and sequestered from society and family, the dystopian universe we had been faced with felt quite oppressive and nightmarish. And this is why, in many senses, it felt Kafkaesque. Kafka's Metamorphosis is indeed a deep metaphor. Oftentimes, the metaphor gets colored by the emotions and perceptions of the reader who flips through the pages. And hence, this is why Kafka's novella Metamorphosis is always worth a read and many rereadings.